I was thinking this morning that the crowd that was at your 2014 Oktoberfest, the first one, I was there. I showed you the picture. Is the same crowd that's at Madran now, because we've all gotten older. We're all conscious about our health and all of that good stuff. Is the adaptability and the change in the type of events that you're having, or the expansion in your portfolio of events, has that been intentional? Has it been a strategy, or has it been a natural evolution? I know that you mentioned getting into working with corporates was a natural evolution in a sense, because you did Van der Hill and that came with more stuff. But is that a strategy that you've been implementing, or has it just been you growing with your audience?
Oh, absolutely. So, like I said, as much as you have to be dynamic on event day, it's also dynamic in the way we're thinking. Concerts were the way to go 5 years ago, but everyone's doing it now. So that space gets crowded. So R&G likes to work to our strengths, work to trying something new. And I've been wanting to do a mud run style event for years, but no one really understood it because no one had done it before. And
where had you seen that?
Tough one, UK, US, they do it a lot. So it's very common in the West. So, and this is part of the travel that we do. Like I mentioned off camera, that I bring my team to overseas as often as I can for exposure. But so something like I also evolve. I've got 2 kids now, so concerts are great. But I also want to do something that I think my kids would love to do one day when they get a bit older. So, Mud Run is a really, really exciting example of how we think behind at the office. So I've wanted to do it in a while. So, and this is now talking about aligning to a brand. And to be honest, one of the big 4x4 companies is actually my mindset. And because it worked with Isuzu for so many years, I'd actually tailored Mud Run specifically for Isuzu because I thought it was a perfect match. It ticked all the boxes. So if you understand a brand like Isuzu, they've got the MUX and the D-Max. The D-Max being the pickup equivalent, and the MUX being the SUV equivalent. So the D-Max focuses on being tough, rugged, workhorse. It's rough, it can handle all sorts. It ticks perfectly with a 5K mud run, doesn't it? It's like it shows how tough you are. But they've got the D-Max, which is family. It's all about being family, driving your families together. And so within the mud run, we've got the family events inside. We've got the mini races. So even the prizes are aligned to. It's like fastest father and child, father and son, fastest mother and daughter, fastest family, linking to the MUX brand. So I think when I pitched it to Mike and Lilia at Isuzu and Ashish, it was almost too difficult to say no, because I created
this perfect.
We created a deck that aligned to their brand. It was, and for them, and I actually tell this to my team quite often, that even bosses have bosses. As much as Mike Bentley is a dealer principal, he's also got a boss in South Africa, he's got a boss in Japan, and when he pitches an idea, they have to align. So when it took 3 years for me to convince someone to take on Mud Run, because it's an expensive event. It's insanely expensive, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But when I created that deck and it aligned to it, it became very easy for Mike and Lilia and Ashish to pitch it to head office and say, listen, we want to do this. And it was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And I was like, cool, well, they agreed. Because the budget expense. So we have to create the obstacles, and we have to have partners. So we've got the arena, the R&G arena, we own it. And the FarmX, the farm next to Chamber Valley, Farmer Frank, incredible human being, has been so supportive in helping us create this event. And I had a chat to him, and to fill these obstacles with water, because of droughts and filling these waters, you have to saturate the ground. During the course of a week of the event, we pumped in 1.5 million liters of water to make these obstacles wet, to be able to hold that, to have it have water in obstacles. So they kept getting saturated, and even on the day, we were still filling obstacles with water to make sure that we create that experience. Because can you imagine coming to a mud run? There's no mud.
So what are we doing?
So
it's the dust run.
We evolved. We created an event, and this comes with experience now. We understand the brand. We understand professionalism. We understand health and safety. I mean, there's 20 medics on site. Every officer has a medic. We've got 2 ambulances on site. It's safety first, and I think that's what we learned as a key thing. The moment you go corporate, safety is paramount. Nothing trumps safety. So if there's a safety issue, it gets cancelled.
Yeah.
We will be able to answer what we did to ensure safety, and if there was an incident, what did we do to make sure that person get to medical care as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So we do all that to make sure that the event is as professional as possible. So that's how, to answer your question, the evolution comes with time, with age. Having 2 kids myself now, getting married during that period allows me to think differently now. There's 50 years ago to think of kids when I'm in my late 20s, single, like no, not in the picture. But now it's 2 kids. I've got an understanding what parents need, what parents want. So I can also start relating to that. So as a director, I can start thinking about these things. And so we are thinking of more family-friendly events. And that's I think a natural evolution as I age as well. Yes, we'll do the critical fun stuff. We'll continue because we've got a very young team. I think because we want that young, that youthful experience and that energy. So yeah, I don't think the fun things are going to anytime soon, but we're going to evolve to having a broader portfolio.
So you mentioned how you saw the idea of a mad run elsewhere, and you also talked about how you invest in exposing your team to different environments. Tell me why you think that is worthwhile, and do you think that it's possible for someone who isn't getting that level of exposure to have the same amount of creativity? What do you think? Why do you think the R.O.I. on that is worthwhile?
So all the crazy ideas that we've ever done always came from watching someone from overseas doing something cool. Because the West or East, doesn't really matter which side you go, have much bigger budgets than us.
Yes.
They can do, you can see what Coachella does, you can see what Glastonbury does, you can see Formula One races, you can see the scale.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear with my team is that if they haven't seen what can be done, they'll be in their little box all the time. And I don't want my team to think they're the big fish in a little pond. We've got to compare ourselves with everyone else around us. So I tell my we've got 6 designers in house, and I tell them, don't compare to yourself just with people in Zambia. Yes, there's a lot of talent here, but why limit yourself to that comparison, to that level of quality? You all have MacBooks. Because as a director, I believe it's my job to provide the tools of trade to my team.
Yeah.
I can't expect a designer to design something when he's working off an Intel 3 laptop that was 20 years old. They can't do it.
Yeah.
So my primary job is to make sure that I have the best possible gear for my team to be able to do their job. So every designer has a MacBook Pro. They will work. I won't get desktop because there's load shedding. Laptops have that backup. So they use the industry standard tools. They use Photoshop. They use After Effects. They use Premiere Pro. Why compare? Why are we not comparing ourselves with someone in London, in New York, or Milan? There's no reason to not compare with them. So, dream bigger is what I try and push my team. Stop comparing. Yes, it's good to compete with your immediate peers.
Yeah.
But don't limit it to that. You want to be a world-class designer, not a local designer.
Yeah.
And that's what I push my whole team. Let's be as good as we can. So when we do events, if my guys have never seen a large event, how do they know where to benchmark themselves against? So my design team, yes, they can benchmark on creatives around the world, but to my eventing, my account managers, my tech guys, how do they benchmark?
Yeah.
So last week we brought them to Dubai Untold, 150,000 people. 5 or 7 stages, was it? The smallest stage is the biggest I've ever seen. Zambia will never see a stage that big. It was insane.
Yeah.
And this year we brought another 6 guys to Dubai in February to watch La Pearl, which is just incredible. So when these guys go to these events, firstly, when you arrive in Dubai and you've never left Lusaka and they've never been on a plane, that experience, for me, it's also, my father has told me, and this is advice from 25 years ago, treat your staff like you would your children. And I think I've taken that to heart quite literally many times, and watching the guys go on a plane and hearing the stories that that childish joy.
Yeah.
You go on an Emirates plane, it's like
Wow.
there's food coming in, and then obviously the business lounges. We go in because obviously with your Visa cards you get lounges. So some of you guys will go in the lounge, it's like it's all free. You go to the F&B lounge, it's all free. It's like wow, and it's just amazing. And then just picture this. Zamiwe, it's like this guy has. This year, I bought Brian. He's my motorbike driver.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He delivers tickets to everyone. This is what he is. He's never left Zambia. He's never had a passport. But he's been with my team for 10 years. So it's okay, let me reward him for his service. Yeah. But also, he's a critical part of my team. On event day, he handles the artist entry gate. He's a little minion. He's short.
Yeah.
But he takes no nonsense. He doesn't care who it is. Your number plate is not on the list. You're not coming in.
Yeah.
That's great.
Done.
And understand, Brian has never been on a plane. He arrives in Dubai, has never seen skyscrapers the way it is. He's never been on a train. So you go on a metro to the hotel. He's never. Then we take him to a water park. Never been to a water park. Never been on a jet ski. Never been on a jet boat. All that experience, and suddenly now he arrives at La Pearl or Dubai Untold. It's like wow. So what I'm hoping to do with my team is that open your mind.
Yeah.
He would have seen R&G growing up like we're the best, but we're not. There's a lot of guys who do a lot of things different and better than we do. But we must be better overall. That's our goal. Be the best as much as we can.
Yeah.
And if I could have an entire team of staff that have the same mindset as R&G, as the directors do, then suddenly we're changing the game. Suddenly they're bringing ideas, and I'll explain to you what happened at Dare Thunder, how this investment has paid off. And you go to Dubai Untold, the music, the stages, you're looking at the world's biggest stars, and suddenly they're seeing that these guys that they see only on TV, suddenly it's there. They've got VIP tickets.
Yeah.
And we spend. I'm not gonna. The investments are insane. I mean, the VIP tickets like $300. Charge that in Zambia.
Yeah.
You could have two charges of that. And there's nothing free, it's just the position. But if my guys can see what a VIP experience should look like and feel like, they're able to bring it back to Zambia, to our events.
Yeah.
And the fruition of that was that even at Mwape of Thunder, some of the Instagram corners we came up with weren't my ideas. It's been for the last 10 years, it's always been me coming up with ideas. But because my team have come through, I think Malego and my camera said, listen, when this artist on stage, the music was in beat with a video behind him. Can we do that? It's like, yeah, why not? And they're coming with ideas. Oh, when we were at Dubai Mall, we saw the adverts in Dubai and told this is what the advert was saying. And can we do the same?
Yeah.
And even Instagram corners, they'll come up with ideas that, listen, this is what we think we should do. Can we do this?
Yeah.
I'm not coming with ideas. I'm now, as a director, because of our growth, I'm managing the overall picture. I'm making sure that I'm steering this ship in the right direction. But the micromanagement side, it's my team doing it now. They're coming up with ideas. They run it by me. So listen, do you think this is possible? Can we do it? Yeah, cool. Cost it out. Let me know. And getting these guys to travel, to be able to see and Dubai is probably one of the pinnacle destinations in the world right now, and extremely accessible to for Zambians. I mean, probably one of the easiest visas that Zambia can get, and for that opportunity is just unbelievable.